One of the biggest sustainable packaging trends over the last 18 months has been the growth of refillable packaging. And I'm delighted to have a chat with Catherine Conway, founder of Unpackaged. Welcome, Catherine.
Hi.
Hi. First of all, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what Unpackaged does?
Certainly. So I founded Unpackaged in 2006. We were, I guess, the first modern zero waste shop. So I had this idea where I wanted a shop where everything was refillable as a solution to what I saw back then as the problem of packaging. So we have grown and changed quite a lot, because I think it's probably fair to say that there wasn't really much of a market for zero waste or refillable packaging 13 years ago. Wow. So we now don't have our own shops, and I would say we're now a bit of a hybrid organisation. We install branded refill systems in other people's stores, so we have concessions in Planet Organic and in lots of independent shops, mainly farm shops, but then we also offer consultancy to a variety of companies, such as the work that we've done with Waitrose and with M&S and lots of other large retailers, where we have helped them install refill systems into their own shops under their own brands.
Excellent, that's brilliant. I guess the first question has got to be the big challenge for everyone, and that's about COVID-19. And how is the pandemic affecting the refillable packaging market in your eyes?
So I think we need to see refillable packaging in various different sectors. So I think things like reusable cups, we've seen that most of the large chains such as Starbucks, Pret-a-Manger have just put a halt on anybody bringing their own cups. I do understand why they've done that, because there's hand to mouth with cups. It's very immediate, and they just felt that they couldn't manage it. However, I went into a Starbucks before lockdown started. I wasn't allowed to use my refillable cup, but I was just adjusted to the shared milk jug, which had exactly the same problem. So I think at the minute nobody really knows enough about the virus, but we do know that it's not really transmitted from surface to surface. So I don't think the problem with refillables is people bringing their own packaging to refill. I think it's people repeatedly touching the hopper handles, in the same way that, you know, all stores have to worry about people touching trolleys and door handles and door frames and things like that. So I do think there is an increased risk. None of our retailers have chosen to stop selling in their bulk sections. Some of them have taken extra precautions. Some of them are asking staff to do the refilling for customers. But I think within the retail sector, the BYO refillables seem to be okay. And in actual fact, a lot of our retailers are reporting increased sales because they managed to maintain bulk supply a lot easier than the pre-packs. So in case some of our Planet Organics, where people ran out of pre-pack pasta and things, it was all available in bulk. And those retailers are all getting a bigger margin on those bulk products as well. So it is really good business, as well as being good for the environment.
Excellent, that's really good to hear. So tell me a bit about the refill packaging customer. What would a typical somebody that would use the packaging on a daily basis, what they look like?
You know what, I think it's really changing. I think when it started, I mean, probably the statistics would tell you that it's overwhelmingly female, but I think that's also skewed by the fact that most women still do the family shopping. So I don't think that's specifically to do with refills. I think there is probably an assumption that it's a more well-off customer, or someone who has the time, money, luxury to think about the types of food that they're buying. However, as we are starting to talk to more and more retailers, actually we're finding that there is a customer base in every market, whether it's at the more basic end, whether it's at the more value end, because these products can be really, really good value. So if you're talking about being able to buy in bulk cereals, bulk oats, bulk rice and things, and it is actually a very cheap way of feeding a family. So I think there are sort of typical customers within every different category of customer, and it's really about finding a system that works for them. So in some retailers, they want to put in a very tech-based system, which is all about touch screens and the customer serving themselves. In other retailers that are smaller or maybe have an older customer base, then it needs to be a bit more served with, you know, more like a deli counter, with the customer being served and helped to do it. So I think it's really about understanding your type of customers. But as we've seen with the change, you know, with Blue Planet and the consumer awareness of packaging, people's concern from the environment goes across all socioeconomic, all genders. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, everybody cares, and it's about trying to find solutions that enable them to live their lives, but whilst creating less damage for the environment.
Okay, excellent. And what kind of, are there more are products some products more suited to refillables than others? I mean, obviously there's
Yeah, I think so. You probably, if anyone thought about a refill section in a store, they'd probably think automatically of the hoppers or the scoop bins where you can get dry goods. So I think those are probably the easiest to start with. I say easiest in inverted commas because there's always challenges with everything. But like the project we did with Waitrose, we wanted to prove that you could get round and do a lot of your weekly shop without any packaging. So it was all about having loose fruit and veg, loose frozen, loose ambient, drinks, household cleaners. And there's a lot of startups and really interesting brands and companies trying to set up new clever machines, such as, the machine that Ecover are using, both in Waitrose and Sainsbury's. There's a lot of interesting innovation going on to create those systems in store to make it really, really easy for customers.
Excellent. And what advice would you give to a retailer considering implementing a refillable packaging system?
So I think you have to think it through really carefully. I think lots of people think, oh, we're just going to shove in some dispensers and everyone will know what to do with them. And they just don't. It is a big, big change for your staff on how they go about their daily jobs and do their daily tasks. And it's a big change for customers. You almost need to get to a customer when they're in the house to remind them to bring their own packaging down to the store. So there's a very, very big kind of comms and operational piece with it. But I would also say that the most important thing is to understand who your customers are, the kind of shopping that they want to do, and help them buy those products in bulk. So if you are a retailer that sells mainly ready meals, then there's no point putting in walls and walls of bulk ingredients. You need to solve the packaging problem of the ready meals. So it's about understanding, the top products that your customers are buying and trying to find refill solutions for those. And I think it's not just about bricks and mortar. And I think that's one thing that COVID has shown us, that suddenly a lot more people are happy with shopping online, whereas they weren't before. And that trend is probably going to continue. And actually, it's not just about refill systems in store, it's about refillable and reusable products. So could we be sending, really bulky products like household cleaners or laundry liquid and things? Should we be sending those to people online? Because then it gets the convenience factor as well. People don't have to go to the store, carry really heavy things home. So I think it's really about understanding your customer base, the products they want to buy, and how they want to shop, whether it's in store or online, and then really trying to develop systems that answer that for them.
So you see a migration from bricks and mortar stores to more online refillable options?
I think everybody has, and I think there's a real opportunity for both. I think there's an opportunity to say, why don't we just send people the products that they're buying over and over again, that they're very brand loyal, all the subscription service type ideas. Why don't we just send all of those products in refillable packaging to their houses, get the refills at the empties back, clean them out, send them back out again, like the loop model, and then leave the in-store for the really exciting purchases, so the fresh purchases, or the products that people really want to engage with and touch and feel and really, make their choices rather than having them delivered. So I think within refillable and reusable packaging, it's not one size fits all. It's not that a refill system in store will be the right system for every single product. I think there's going to be lots, in the same way there's so many, there's millions of different types of packaging. There's going to be lots of different types of refill and reuse, but this is everything that we need to get us to a circular economy.
Excellent. That's been absolutely fascinating. I'm delighted that through all these difficult situations with pandemics and that you're managing to really be successful in what you're doing. And thank you very much for your time. And
yes.
Thank you again.
Pleasure.